een momentje. Ben je aan het filmen?
Ja.
Illegaal. Sta ik erop.
Jij bent de kok, dus jij mag het ook wel.
Ze zijn wel vaak aan de binnenkant hoor. Ze zijn heel mooi.
English. But it's a really small school, so every half year a new group of people starts. They call it a tribe. And they're going on a nature quest tomorrow. And that's the reason why nobody's here, because I guess they're all preparing, because they're going to be, they're going to spend a day or a day and a half outside in nature. And it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And they have to sleep there, right? With no food, no nothing.
Exactly, no food, only water, a tarp, and
Crazy people.
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I came across Knowmads 2 years ago, and that was the beginning of the story I told here last year. I got into a manic episode, and I got fired. And then I ran into one of the founders of Knowmads, called Floris. Had a meeting with him, and he, I really remember the thing he said. And like, how are you doing? Well, not too great. You're fired. Yes. Congratulations. He said, and I was pretty surprised. Yeah.
Should I go and open the door?
Fire again.
Maybe. And I shared the whole story with it, and the story around the picture was that I told myself at the beginning of this year, there's probably a chance that I will end up in a depression again, and if that happens, then I'll just let it happen and accept it and kind of drown in it. Oh, my English is a bit rusty, sorry about that. Yeah, and in 2 weeks I was able to get out of it again. But at the same time, I also asked a few people, hey, can I put you on an email list, and then if I need it, I'll send you an email, and then I hope you're able to spend an evening with me or something like that. And I didn't do it. I didn't send that email. I didn't find the courage and the trust. I kind of locked myself in again. And yeah, I think I started my story. And today someone commented and said like, yeah, but it's also a process. The depression is also, it teaches you something. And the moment someone interferes with that, it kind of takes the attention of the process, and because I recognize that in myself, even with all my experience with depression, I still try to solve shit for people. I still try to make people happy. A friend of mine now is in hospital, hospitalized in the psychiatric ward, and it's so fucking difficult to help him or to find the right level. I want to cheer him up. I'm trying to look into food. What are you eating? Which medicines are you taking? Trying to solve things for him. So that's a really fragile balance. Yeah. Thank you for listening and being here, by the way. And yeah, so this is an evening about openness, about acceptance, about vulnerability, and so I started with that a year ago. That's why we are here together again, because I saw the memory of last year. Here at Knowmads you have What the Fuck lectures. It's a lecture of someone with a business or an idea or interesting story. And I was, at that time, I was for about 8 months in my year. A year consists of being working really intensively together with a group of people. And I realized that I didn't tell these people my whole story, my whole complete story with all the shit and the bad and the good. So I hijacked the what the fuck lecture thing and I did one about myself called Luc Schoot Am I Nuts? And the idea was to share about depression and together with each other, and me telling my story first. And I ended up doing a monologue of 2.5 hours. So after that, there was no discussion. People were pretty tired, and I was as well. But it was a fucking amazing experience. There were good friends, my 2 brothers, my sister was there. And it was really powerful to tell the whole story. And then the idea was still there to have an evening about vulnerability and everything around it and share. And so, beginning of January, yeah, we had an evening just like this with 5 stories. And that was amazing and great. And I thought, let's do it again, because it's a year ago. And yeah, so for me, a year ago I stopped taking lithium, which I used for 5 months after a really, really big depression. Yeah, just really simple. I was done with it. I just wanted to die, and yeah, that's it. And yeah, so that's also, I think, quite interesting. I was using very high antipsychotics. It's called Seroquel. People who are familiar with it. People who are not familiar with it, never take it. I got a new doctor, and she said, "Why are you taking this?" I don't know. I wanted to die, so I didn't care. Well. You should take this lithium, okay, and then I had something, yeah, but I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna use both at the same time. Fuck that. I know your tricks, and so I quitted the Seroquel cold turkey. Yeah, the first night I couldn't sleep. Second, the day after I went for a run, first time in 4 or 5 weeks, and I could feel myself a little bit more. And then the day after was better, and the day after I did some meditation in the morning, and then in the evening, in the afternoon I cycled to a friend. And while cycling, all of a sudden it was like this, like the sun drove away all the bad clouds, and energy was back, hope was back, and I was there again. So like this magical moment, and I had that experience. I had kind of an experience like that before as well, years before. Yeah, so my perspective on depression, on how it works and what it does, and is different, I guess, than most doctors. Yeah. Okay, back to. So I stopped lithium a year ago, and that felt great in the beginning. I could really feel that I became way more sensitive in every kind of way, in feeling and adapting emotions, in feeling life, actually. Yeah. And at the same time, sometimes I went way too far. My dad got surgery, and pretty severe surgery. His I forgot the name, but stolthout got removed, and so I saw him in hospital, and he had stitches all over his neck, and he couldn't talk, and he got angry while he was in that bed, and then this nurse came by, and then she said some things that completely the wrong words, and he got way more angry, and that triggered something in me as well. So I got furious. I had a chair and I just smashed it through the hallway. And I remember coming home that evening, and there's this big boxing bag sack at my dad's house, and punched it and punched it and punched it, and shouted and screamed and looked into the mirror and screamed more at myself, and felt all the anger that was there. And after, I think, screaming for 2 or 3 minutes, I finally started to cry, and I could feel all the grief that was underneath it. And that was good. That was a nice lesson. And yeah, and I think that's so accepting that. Can we accept that people are hurt, and can we let them give the space to shout it out, cry it out, do whatever they need to do, without calling them sick or crazy or give them medications. I think that's really important, that you can do that. I had the idea to show you some of this anger, and also how quickly I could get out of it again. I've been kind of playing with it a little bit, but I don't feel this is the right moment now. Yeah. And so I'm trusting more and more that what comes on my path, and it sounds maybe a bit fuzzy, but all the things that I learned from all these depressions, I can understand why it happens, and I can, to make a little. So the anger I talked about was in end of December, and then in February here at Knowmad, there was another example of where I got way out of line, and all the anger that I had stored for or kept because of the relationship I had with my dad, I projected it on someone here at Knowmad, and it got me into a lot of trouble. And besides that, it took me 3 days to get it out of my system and to be myself again, and to understand how poisonous that anger is, and how I choose to keep it for myself. And I think that's the trick, if you can say so. And that reminds me of something to round this up. It's a beautiful quote from a book I came across years ago. It's from Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, and the book is called I Am That. I have to look it up quickly. Basically, the summary of the book is you're not your body, you're not your mind, you're not your thoughts. And it's a great quote when you're feeling well and great. And if you're depressed as fuck, then
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense if you just puke at it. There we go. it's there. And I really think it's the essence of learning and growing, and are you able to step out of your drama? Are you able to recognize all those parts in you that you created in that drama, that you picked up along the way, but that don't belong to you? And so that's another thing that was really important for me in this year. What is my essence? Who am I really? And what is all the crap that all the parts in me that are not really me, but that is something else. That is maybe my mom. That is the anger of my dad. That is, the things you pick up in relationships. And I more and more am able to differentiate. See, my English is messed up. I'm not gonna repeat that. Between those, and that feels great. I can really take distance of that's my angry part, and that's okay. That's there, but that's not me. Yeah. And that's about it. That's what this little quote is about. The book is called I Am That. As long as you have all sorts of ideas about yourself, you know yourself through the mist of these ideas. As long as you're interested in your present way of living, you will not abandon it. Discovery cannot come as long as you cling to the familiar. To know yourself as you really are, give up all ideas. You cannot imagine the taste of pure water. You can only discover it by abandoning all flavoring. En ik heb het idee dat ik wel redelijk op dat punt ben. En dat is vet. En ja. Dankjewel.
Gaan we klappen?
Nee.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why did you want us to show the anger?
Because I think anger is something. It has a lot of stigma around it, and at the same time, we all have and keep a lot of anger, and we can hide it, but it's there. I mean, you see it all around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everywhere, in yourself, in traffic, on the internet. There's so much anger, and we kind of look away from it, and we stigmatize it. But it's a big part of ourselves, and I think if we can open up and embrace that anger and angry people, that we will heal a lot in society and in ourselves, and also prevent a lot of depression and anxiety, or however you want to call all these names we gave to things we don't understand.
Mm.
So I think that's, I think if we're talking about mental diseases and the definitions that we have given them, we're talking about things we don't understand yet, and that there's so much more energy-wise, system-wise, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's very clear.
If I can, I'm going to make a question.
Okay.
It's a tricky one, so if you just feel free. And on the same line, that anger was to show us or to show you? You understand the meaning of the question?
Yeah, so if I wanted to show it myself, or
Yeah,
to show it to you?
was you want to do it just to show us your anger, or it was like something that you wanted to do for yourself, like to do it surrounded by people when you don't have a reason to be angry, but just to do it?
It's a good question. I'll answer it in and out.